Ladies and gentlemen, second player to come on the UTR podcast here is a Scottish legend. He is currently sitting with a 13.84 UTR, and he is ranked 380 in the world. Hamish Stewart, how are we doing? Thanks
I'm
for coming
good.
on.
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit, where are you right now? It doesn't look like you're in sunny Scotland. Where are we?
We're in Greece just now. We're in Chersonesos or Heraklion, a good old resort there. So yeah, we're playing a challenger this week here.
Good, good. Well, for those that don't know, I actually recruited Hamish to Tulane. He played 4 years at Tulane, I think, and then for his fifth year went to the University of Georgia. Hamish, tell us a
Yep.
little bit about your experience in college, Tulane, moving on to Georgia, what you learned, and maybe some advice for other players out there.
Yeah, so obviously you got the ball rolling with Tulane. You got me there. You and Coach Boris. Um, like I had an unbelievable experience in college. I loved both schools. I loved all my teammates at both schools. College was a bit of a no-brainer for me. I wanted to combine athletics with school as well. And yeah, Tulane was an unbelievable experience. New Orleans, what a place to go to college as well. I had a great 4 years with Coach Boris and of course Chris Simpson. Um, your upgrade for when you left. um, but yeah, had a great 4 years there, and to be honest, COVID was a bit of a blessing for me. I think I was able to try something new, and just try something else at the University of Georgia with Manny, Jamie, and Will Reynolds as well. And yeah, I just had a unbelievable experience at both schools, and it set me up, I think, for the future, not only in tennis, but then after tennis as well, with my education as well.
How long have you been playing professional tennis?
So I graduated Georgia. Well, I think it's been almost 3 years now. I think I've been going. It was a bit of a delayed start. I couldn't play my first 6 months due to injury, but then I got just cracking after that.
So you are right now a career high of 380 in the world. What's
Yeah.
it what's it like out there? You've played a mixture of events. You're just starting to get going now into challengers. Tell us a little bit about the truth about professional tennis.
Yeah, I think the way I've tried to do it as well, I've tried to do it myself. So like financially do it myself. And it's been a definite struggle, that's for sure. I think this summer has changed quite a lot after making Wimbledon qualies. But before then, I always had to balance prize money events with futures events. And, I think as a player as well, there is that financial pressure, financial weight with professional tennis, especially at the start. Um, so when I was starting out, they had these things called UK Pro Leagues that I would do. They would subsidize my tennis to go travel and play. Um, PTTs weren't a thing when I started out. And it's also like, you know, you are trying to save money on the roads, so you're staying in worse places. You're probably not eating as well as you could. They're all little sacrifices that, I think now I've sort of been able to loosen up a wee bit, and I'm sort of seeing, wow, that extra financial investment, I think it goes a long, long way. So yeah, it was definitely at the start a struggle, going to Sharm, going to Monastir, these absolute dumps of of places. Um, just yeah, it was definitely a battle, and then now sort of breaking into more challenges. Now I'm sort of seeing, okay, it gets a bit better from here, but even still, it's a battle.
If you don't know, Hamish Stewart actually made the last round of qualifying at Wimbledon this year. He advanced in the first round through actually a retirement to Valentin Vachereau, who is having an unbelievable week in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Then he won 6 in the third against Luca Van Asch, 11-9 in the tiebreak, and then lost 6-4 in the fourth to Reedy from Switzerland. Tell us a little bit about that experience. It must have been a dream come true. You played in front of your family, your friends coming down from Scotland, just playing in your first Grand Slam. What was that like?
That was a pretty mental week. So I had come through pre-qualies as well, which was also heart in mouth, because realistically as well, like, you know, that was the pre-qualies is a financial game changer just itself. So like if you get through pre-qualies, you know, it's first round slam prize money or nothing. So it really was like, you know, those matches are very tense. And my final match with Brody to qualify, I was 5-3 up in the third and got broken back and went back to 5-all, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've lost it. I've lost the money. Like I'm done.
Does that
But then,
sorry to interrupt you, when you're playing
yeah.
for, does that enter your mind that do you know how much money you're playing for?
Yeah, I think my coach before told me, you know, part of pre-qualifying is managing what you're playing for as well, and like not putting your entire year on going, if I qualify, I'm set for like a while. So and like when I got broken at 5-4, I just went, and I had match point at 5-3. That's why I was saying it. I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? But then, you know, came through that 7-5. And then Vachereau, to be honest, the match with Vachereau, he was all over me. He was playing pretty well. I wasn't playing great. And then he had a very unfortunate fall that he seems to have recovered quite well from. And then the match with Van Asch, I saved match points again, which was, again, I had match point at 5-3 in the third set, and I was serving for it at 5-4 and lost. I was sort of like, wow, I feel like I've been in this scenario before. Fortunately, yeah, I think I was 8-4 down in the tiebreak as
Yeah.
well. So coming through that once again was just a bit, that was like a mental. And then yeah, that was a tough one to hear. Like after that match, there was sort of like a 3-hour battle on the grass, just going, all right, well, you got a best of 5 tomorrow. It's just like, poof.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
Right.
But yeah, that week was, oh my gosh, it was so much fun just being able to, and like the event they do for Wimbledon qualies as well is amazing. Like it felt like a proper ATP event, and yeah, it was class.
And just so everyone knows, the person that runs Wimbledon qualies, I believe, is Johnny Barr, who is an absolute legend. If you don't know Johnny Barr,
Absolute legend. Yes,
he is
from the wrong part of Scotland though.
Yeah, right part of Scotland. He's a Wimbledon member, and actually, I think he's a very good golfer now. But he runs Wimbledon qualies, and he's done an exceptional job. But it goes to say, kind of what you're talking about there, Hamish. 1 week can really change a professional tennis player's year. It's very challenging to actually make money. And on that topic, Hamish, how do you make money? You're 380 in the world. Do you have are you investing in a coach? Are you investing in a trainer, a physio? How do you have the luxury to invest like that, or is that not the case right now?
I think now it's changed a little bit since Wimbledon. So, for example, this is the first week I've had a travel coach with me. Fortunately, being Scottish, I do get some help with coaching and S&C and things like that. To be honest, without that, I don't know how I before would have afforded it. Like it wouldn't have been feasible with the budget that I was on. So that was a huge help. I mean, obviously, it's not like your own individual coach, but you know, we had like 4 or 5 players who were sharing a coach, which is massive. Just, you know, them being able to help with that, and then S&C, fortunately, through the Institute of Sport Scotland, they've been able to help me out with that, alongside physio. But I sort of know the cost of these things, and you know, if if the institute wasn't helping out with that, to be a professional tennis player, you have to invest in those things, and I wouldn't have been able to invest in those things. Sorry, are you hearing this music as well?
No, you're fine.
Okay, magic.
You're fine.
Okay, good. The DJ started.
No.
So yeah, if if I didn't have those things through the institute and Tennis Scotland, like I wouldn't have been able to afford those things.
What do you think is the ranking where you, as a professional tennis player, actually legitimately start making money?
It's a interesting question, because I definitely think the fact me being British has helped massively, because we have a Grand Slam and we have a federation that puts on a Grand Slam and gets their funding, a large amount of that funding through that Grand Slam. So honestly, I think you have to be making Slam qualies minimum to be able, and even then, like, I'm not 100% sure if guys who are always making Slam qualies, if they have a coach there every week, or if they have the full access to their coach all the time. Yeah, I think so Slam qualies, I think the cut's 240. So I think that's the cut that it needs to be. If on top of that, depending on their federation.
Yeah.
But if there's no federation backing, I think 240 is probably the number.
Yeah. So this is why professional tennis is so difficult. I didn't play pro tennis, but I coached a lot of players who are currently embarking on pro tennis, and that's exactly right. That's what I've heard many times. You have to be making Grand Slams in order to make money. There are also other ways that professional tennis players make money. They can do things outside of the match court. They can do exhibitions. They can do sponsorship deals. They can do really whatever they want in order to promote themselves as a brand. So tell us a little bit about, Hamish, your schedule coming up here, rest of the fall, and then going into early 2026.
Yeah, so I think it's heavily trying to put more challenges on the schedule now. So I think up until the last week of November, I think I'm going to try and do. What am I trying to do? I'm going back to Britain first for 225s, and then I think I'm going to try and do 3 more challengers this year. Sort of see where my ranking is at the end of November, and then if there's a few events in December, I'll try and get out there, do a few futures as well. I know in Britain we've got a few prize money events later on in December. I might try and dabble into. But yeah, that's sort of just trying to keep the challengers going, and then evaluating where the ranking's at, and if it's best to go do some more futures, I'll do that. But yeah, that's sort of just keep pushing on. I really have nothing to defend for the rest of this year, because I was injured at the end of last year. So just trying to keep the momentum going, really.
Who helps you with the scheduling? Do you do it on your own, or do you work with the LTA?
I sort of work with. Do you know Toby Smith?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah. So I work with Toby. He's my main coach, and he helps me with my schedule. And unfortunately, his brother being the Davis Cup captain, we can sort of ask what the LTA sort of best, or what Leon sort of has pinpointed. Looking at previous players' development, what the best trajectory is, what the best balance of challengers to futures will be. So he definitely helps there. And it's pretty easy as well, because I also haven't played a professional tournament on clay yet, so that narrows it down. Yeah. So yeah, he helps me with that.
Hamish, do you think you can get top 100? Do you think you can get to the top of the game? If so, I believe you can, right? But do you think there are certain things in your game, or maybe is it a health thing, or is it scheduling? What is it? What's the difference to being 380 in the world and getting to the top 100?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just gonna move inside real quick. My battery is about to die. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's a definite goal of mine. Like, to reach I mean, it's a dream of mine. So like for next year, for example, my goal is to play main draw at Wimbledon. So for that, there's wildcard opportunity being British. But I'm starting to look, okay, now I'm at 360, let's try and get to 250 so I can play all the slams. And then from there, I think a big bit of it is belief. I think for me, one of the things that has changed a lot for me is I've started working with a mental coach, and that side of things is definitely
Interesting.
that side has definitely opened up a new a new avenue that I haven't really explored before. And I think me, I'm a fiery competitor, and sometimes that can get the better of me sometimes. So having working with him has been a massive help. And now also the fact that the financial side has freed me up quite a bit as well. I can invest more. You know, I do think there's still a lot of room to develop, and top 100 is definitely something that I'm aiming for. When that will happen or if it will happen, I'm not sure, but it's something I definitely think and want to achieve.
How do you keep yourself busy on playing professional tennis? You're not going to win every event you play, right? You play doubles, and like, what do you do? Do you read books? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you go do fitness? Do you explore and go sightseeing? How do you keep yourself busy?
Um, I do try and so like for example, this week if I haven't done very well, I sort of like to think, okay, you need to get busy, you need to get practicing, you need to get in the gym, let's do whatever you can to make sure, you're ready for next week. But I'm an avid golfer, so this week I know there's a course kicking around somewhere. I know your former player Giles Hussey is eyeing that up as well.
Love that.
Um, uh, so yeah, golf's a big one for me. I love it. So and then otherwise, how else do I keep busy? I do like a podcast. Uh, there's obviously a new one that's just come out, the James Mackay podcast. So I've added that to the list. Um, but yeah, I do love a TV show as well. And I follow a ton of sports as well. So sport highlights. I'm a big time manager of an FPL team as well. I know, that's well, I think we're in the same league. However, you're behind me. So
Um,
yeah.
question for you, Hamish. So you've played in some big matches, professional and college. Are there any specific memories that stand out to you, or experiences that stand out?
Wimbledon qualies was definitely, as a professional, that's my biggest one. I think when I was in college, I think when I clinched the 3-all match, Georgia versus Texas at Georgia was a special one. Um, I'm trying to think of other special college matches. When I was at Tulane, when we beat Texas 4-0 in Texas, that was a highlight for sure. Yeah, those would be my highlights.
I think as well, just looking at Hamish's background as a junior, he didn't travel the world and play every single ITF. He wasn't the highest ranked junior. He decided to go to the US. He decided to go to the US, went to college, and had his own journey. And I think a lot of people get wrapped up in rankings and UTRs and too much of that stuff, when really just focus on what you're doing, and good things will happen if you put your head down and work hard. So, Hamish, what sort of advice, just wrapping up here, what sort of advice would you give to junior players or college players that are potentially going to embark on a journey of professional tennis?
Yeah, I think for juniors, I mean, I'm a massive supporter of college tennis. I think it's brilliant. Um, the number of matches you get, the quality of training you get, the coaching, the facilities. Like I've seen professional tennis, you do not get anywhere close to that on the like at any like most bases in the world. I don't think you're getting the level of facility you're getting at college tennis. And then I think, when you're in college, embarking on professional tennis, I think a mistake I made. Dip your toes in futures. Get real with what you're about to get into is a big one, because going from Tulane in Georgia to professional tennis, it took me a while to adapt. I didn't play any futures when I was in college, so like going to them, my first trip was to Cancun, Mexico, and it wasn't Cancun, it was the jungle, and it was horrific. And I was like, this is what I'm in for. Like, what is going on? And then, but my advice would be, yeah, just enjoy college, like get a good mix of education, social, athletics, push yourself hard, like enjoy it, and then get a ton of matches under your belt, figure out what you're about, and then try and take that onto the professional level. But yeah, get real with what the journey will actually be like when you're in college, because it's not as good, and it's a reality check for sure. Unless you reach top 50 within the first year or two. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Yeah, it's not easy. Make sure, I think as well, one thing that you probably agree with, Hamish, is get the right people around you. I know it's not cheap to go for it, but get the right people around you who support you through wins and losses, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hamish, I appreciate your time. Best of luck this week in Greece. Prediction for next year for Hamish is you will see him playing at least 2 Grand Slams. So he's on the trajectory to get to the top of the game. So Hamish, good luck. Appreciate you joining me, and good luck this week.
Cheers, James. Appreciate the time, and yeah, loving the podcast, mate. Loving it.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.